been a little while since we've talked tech around here, so in today's video I wanted to share some of my favorite kind of current daily use tech items, all under $100. We've got a bit of an eclectic mix today with some home tech, office tech, outdoor and travel tech, music production, so without any further ado, let's just dive into it. First up, we have a mechanical keyboard. This is the Vissel's V84 mechanical keyboard. I've been using this for a couple of months, switching from the Apple Magic keyboard, and have been thoroughly impressed with it. They sent it out for me to test and review, and yeah, the past couple of months have been great. This thing's only $100 and it's actually on sale for $90 on Amazon right now. The keycaps are fully hot swappable. I decided to pick the blue switches, but you can also get red or brown switches. I love the clicky sound of the blues, so I'm really happy I decided to go with that. It's a 75% size, so it's not going to be a full keyboard with a full number pad. It's really my only real disappointment. I got used to having my full number pad on the Magic keyboard and definitely enjoy that, but the benefits and the joy of using a mechanical keyboard have definitely outweighed the cons for sure. Build quality for something so inexpensive has been surprising. It's got a really nice weight to it, and like I said, the keys are fully hot swappable. You can swap between Mac or Windows keys and they come with that. It also comes with an included wrist rest and a really nice tool to be able to pull off keycaps if you need or want to. It's fully wireless, has a pretty respectable battery life. You have full RGB on the keys as well, so you can do all the crazy RGB colors, or you can do some more muted options. I tend to like the warmer white kind of orange color. Keep that on all the time. It looks great, matches my warm lighting in my office. Overall, really impressed, and I would happily recommend this for anyone that's looking to get into mechanical keyboards. Moving on from there, I have an addition to my AirPods Pro that I've been thoroughly enjoying. Obviously, the AirPods Pros are great. I was using the Sony Link Buds for the past 4 or 5 months or so since they came out to properly test and review them. I'll probably be making a dedicated review for those at some point in the future. I know a few people were interested, but I have switched back to using my AirPods Pro for normal day-to-day use, and one of the big reasons for that is switching to these Comply foam ear tips compared to the silicone tips that it normally comes with. I love the sound quality out of the AirPods Pros. Just about everything about them has been really great with the exception of the fit for me. I was having some issues with them sliding out of my ears and just generally having to adjust them a lot throughout the day. I looked into some options online and saw a lot of people were recommending trying out foam ear tips, so I bought some. These are Comply. They're $25 for a pack of 3 on Amazon, and they completely transformed the fit of these, way more than I ever expected. They go in really easily. They're even more comfortable to wear, and I don't need to adjust them at all. So if you're someone that wants all of the benefits of some of the enclosed earbuds but kind of has trouble with the fit like I always have, try out those foam ear tips. Really inexpensive and completely transformed how I use these. So it's been really great going back to these after the Link Buds. The sound quality is excellent for such a small pair of headphones. On the topic of Apple, I wanted to once again mention the AirTags. I've talked about these before, but it's definitely worth mentioning as just a really great inexpensive thing to throw into your bags and your luggage and your car. $29 and you can keep track of your items. It's really great for security if you're traveling and want to throw one into your luggage just to be safe in case it gets lost in transit somehow. You can kind of have a little bit better luck keeping track of things, but I also like to keep one in my sling bag in case I leave it at a restaurant or if it gets stolen or something like that. So I keep one in my backpack, keep one in my sling bag. I actually keep one in my car as well as kind of a tracker for my car. Unfortunately, there are a lot of car thefts in the city, so it's just a little extra piece of protection that's inexpensive and easy, and I really can't recommend them enough. I picked up a 4-pack. They were on sale a couple months ago on Amazon, discounted. I do think the single ones are discounted a little bit right now, but it's $99 for a pack of 4 or one for $27.50 right now. Moving into the kitchen, I wanted to take some time to talk about this. It's the Picoso coffee scale. I think it's just a random off-brand one. I had to look up what the brand was because it doesn't say on the outside or anything, but this is a coffee scale and timer for $17. If you're someone that really is into coffee and doing pour overs and different things like that, like I am, having a really accurate coffee scale is excellent. Having something that goes to the 10th of a gram is also incredibly helpful, and having something that has a built-in timer is really convenient and nice to use instead of using your phone timer. And I picked this up a few months ago and have just been really impressed with it for such a budget scale. I deep dove into James Hoffman's YouTube channel trying to find a replacement scale for an old one I'd been using for about a decade that just really wasn't cutting it for me anymore. And a lot of good quality coffee scales can be so expensive. So I did some research and checked out some budget options and found this one. I love the look of it too. That's something that you don't normally get with such budget scales. So it looks great. It's been really accurate for me. The timer's excellent. You have touchscreen buttons on here, but they actually work really well. I've had some problems with scales in the past with the touchscreen not being very responsive. But yeah, zero complaints for this. If you had told me this was like 80 or $100, I wouldn't be surprised. It's been absolutely perfect for me since I got it. They call it the hello scale because it says hello every time you turn it on, which is kind of a little funny thing to add in. But yeah, if you're in the market for a new coffee scale for pour overs or just any sort of kitchen scale, it's really convenient if you're trying to diet and having to weigh your food or things like that. I'm a big advocate for using scales for baking as well as my coffee use. So I really have been so impressed with this for how inexpensive it was and can't recommend it enough. While we're very conveniently on the topic of coffee, I want to thank the sponsor of today's video, and that is Third Wave Water. Third Wave Water is a mineral blend designed to make the perfect water for brewing coffee. In the pursuit of making the perfect cup of coffee at home, so many people forget about the water. You get a really great pour over system, you get a nice digital scale so you can measure everything out perfectly, you get a great burr grinder, you get great single origin coffee beans from a local roaster, all of these things, and you still can't compete with your local coffee shop. And I think more often than not, the main reason for that is the quality of your water. Third Wave Water aims and succeeds to fix that. I've been using it for a few months now and have been so impressed. I mentioned it last time I worked with them as a sponsor. It's the biggest jump in quality for my coffee at home in so many years, and I'm so impressed with how big of a difference it makes. In my experience, it brought out a lot of the sweetness and acidity of my coffee beans and really got rid of a lot of those unpleasant bitter notes. I mainly use the classic profile because I'm usually more of a light to medium roast person, but they also make a dark roast profile and an espresso roast profile, so they cover a pretty big range of whatever kind of coffee that you drink. You get a box with these little packets inside, you dump this into a gallon of distilled water, shake, and then it is ready to go. I actually have a coupon code as well. Use code JoshFenn for 10% off if you're interested in picking some up. I'll be sure to have some links in the description. Huge thanks to Third Wave Water for sponsoring this week's video. Next up, I have an item for travel, and that's the eTech City Luggage Scale. This is just another kind of no-name luggage scale I got from Amazon. It's $12 right now, but I wanted to bring it up because sometimes when you're looking through all of that cheap stuff, you don't know what's going to be a dud or what's going to be great. In my experience, this thing has performed perfectly. It's really great to be able to weigh your luggage if you live somewhere with really tight luggage restrictions on the weight. For me, I use it even more so for my wilderness backpacking. I like to weigh my pack before I go out on trips and kind of keep a log of the weight of my bag over time with different trips and scenarios. I'm a big fan of collecting all of that data for wilderness backpacking, but especially for travel use, I think this becomes even more important and essential to avoid paying over fees for having too heavy of a bag, or if you're getting to the airport and you have to check your carry-on bag because it's too heavy or something. It's just nice to be able to have all of the rules and regulations in mind while you're packing, and you can kind of make sure there's going to be no hiccups or interruptions while you're traveling. So yeah, $12, this thing has worked really well. I can't speak to any of the other options, but definitely no need to spend any more than this budget one here. Got an old-time favorite for me. I'm sure if you've been around the channel, you've heard me talk about it before, but this is the Nitecore NB10000 power bank. It's a 10,000 milliamp hour power bank, and it is the smallest and lightest one on the market for this capacity. I believe that's still the case. Be sure to correct me in the comments if I'm wrong, but this thing is super tiny and compact compared to any other power bank I've used, and it's only 5.3 ounces, so around 150 grams for the metric folks out there. I have a few of the batteries that I really like the Banks MagSafe battery, but definitely if I had to pick one or just have one that's the most lightweight and versatile option, I use this for outdoor backpacking as well, where weight matters way more than normal travel. So yeah, if I had to pick one, it would definitely be this one. You have a USB-C port, a USB-A port. It does fast charging. It's the lightest weight one on the market. You're gonna pay a little bit of a premium for it, but in my opinion, it's worth it if you're really trying to shed those ounces or grams. Gonna throw a bit of a curveball into this one, but I have a MIDI keyboard that I've recently been using and liking. This is the Akai MPK Mini Mark III. If you're newer to the channel, you might not know. I spent all of my years in high school and college and after college in different bands. I got to tour around the country for a few years, which was really great. Music was the biggest thing in my life for my entire childhood and my early 20s. Moving out to Portland, working on YouTube, doing stuff, I have kind of let music slide away, and I've been looking to bring that back a bit. And I've been wanting to get a MIDI keyboard, this MIDI keyboard specifically, for a few years so I can start getting back into making music again. Picked this up about a month ago and have just been having a blast. This retails for 120 bucks, so it's a little bit over our $100 limit, but I did look, you can get a like new used version for $98, and then you can also get the Mark I or Mark II for a lot less expensive, and I know those are very well reviewed as well. But it is just great. If you have any interest in music production, this is an excellent entry. There are definitely some compromises in a budget MIDI keyboard compared to some really high-end ones, mainly in the feel and weight of the keys. But considering this is, a small fraction of the price of some of the really high-end ones, it has performed admirably and has just been a ton of fun to get back into music. And, you have a drum pad, you have a keyboard. It's excellent. It's had everything I need to get started into making music on the computer. I've always been kind of a jack of all trades, master of none musician. I can play a lot of stuff, but I can't play any of it really well. So it's been fun learning and messing around with this and just getting to create a lot more using a computer compared to a more traditional instrument. So if you're into music production or have been thinking about it, the APK Mini Mark III has been excellent, especially for a budget MIDI keyboard. I can't recommend it enough. Kind of related to music production, the next item on the list are the PreSonus Aris 3.5-inch studio speakers. They're on my desk, if I can point right there. I bought these last year when I redid my studio, and studio speakers can get so expensive, and I was on definitely a bit of a budget. I picked these up for $100 and I have been thoroughly impressed with them. The sound profile isn't as flat as I would like to do really audio critical work. I usually still turn to my headphones and amp when I'm doing something like that, but for general consumption and general video editing where I'm not mixing the sound itself, they have been really great. I also use them for playing Xbox, and having really great speakers for video games is awesome as well. All around, for $100 for a pair of speakers of that quality, I've just been really impressed and really happy with the investment. That's gonna wrap it up for the list though. Definitely an eclectic hodgepodge sort of list of tech items. I hope you appreciated it though. I used to always share my tech bag videos when I commuted to and from work with all the tech I use, and now that I work from home, I don't really bring my tech around that often, so I wanted to brainstorm some ways to show you kind of my daily tech items, and this is what I came up with. Really hope you enjoyed this video. Be sure to let me know in the comments if you have any tech items that you've been using and want to talk about. I'd love to get that discussion going. Thank you all so much for watching though, and I'll talk to you in the next one.